Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the stage. I hope you made it over and enjoy such an informative panel discussion. We've been talking a lot about helping to build consumer confidence with eating sustainable seafood. And it's my honor to introduce Andrea Albersheim, our Director of Communications. And she at S&P leads our public health education campaigns and partnership efforts. She brings together more than a decade of communications experience focusing on food, nutrition, consumer issues, and she also has experience on working on other food programs as well. And so without further ado, here's Andrea Albersheim to go over the Eat Seafood America campaign. Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you, Linda. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you virtually. Sorry about some of the little technical snafus throughout the day, but hopefully you are all here on the stage now and can hear me. As Linda said, I'm Andrea Albersheim. I'm Director of Communications at Seafood Nutrition Partnership, and I'm excited to tell you about an initiative we launched in April in collaboration with dozens of industry partners. This Data Essential survey asked Americans, what do you miss most from restaurants once they closed? And seafood was number 2 at 31% of respondents. And don't forget, sushi also is seafood, and sushi fell into the top 10 at 18%. So we are craving seafood. 65% of seafood's value comes from restaurants. So when they shuttered in March, the seafood supply chain was greatly impacted. As Paul Doremus spoke about in his presentation earlier today, when COVID struck the United States in March, we began hearing from seafood companies, fishermen and farmers, and retail partners how much this was impacting the industry. It was a complete shift in the supply chain, with everyone working feverishly to shift the seafood supply to retailers and directly to consumers, just to keep above water. So at that same time, consumer behavior changed completely. There was a total shift in where and how people ate and how they look at their health and wellness. So to help both Americans and the seafood industry come out of this pandemic stronger, we quickly reached out to industry partners and shifted communications to be that support vehicle. Now more than ever, industry, philanthropy, and policymakers have a unified interest in telling a more powerful story about the human and environmental benefits of seafood consumption, and driving enduring change in consumer behavior, all while collaborating to strengthen the supply of sustainable seafood in the marketplace. These nearly 50 organizations have come together to help. So what is it all that we've been talking about throughout the day and what I'm leading into? It's the Eat Seafood America campaign. It's a unifying consumer-facing campaign to encourage Americans to buy and eat sustainable seafood for health, and to support the U.S. seafood community affected economically from COVID-19. With rapid response phase from April to July 2020, and now in a recovery phase through 2021. The campaign includes a combination of campaign assets and messages, digital media outreach, public relations outreach, and earned media. So it's important for us to be constantly adapting and meeting the consumers where they are, addressing consumer needs, and how we've really just seen how this is consistently shifting over the past 6 months. With the quarantine, there have been COVID-elicited changes. Let's start with seafood retail sales are through the roof, which is wonderful. There has been increased seafood cooking at home. People are experimenting more, both with sourdough starter, but also really with seafood, and really expanding the number of seafood species that we're cooking with. All of this is really exciting, but how do we make those habits stick? We're trying to create a communication strategy that is addressing these issues and helping support Americans now and into the future. Here are a few of the things we're currently seeing. Consumers are buying more seafood, and we need to ensure they continue to have success making delicious meals at home so they continue to buy seafood for years to come. They have to have success doing it or they're going to move away from the category. Consumers are seeking to strengthen their health and immunity, reduce stress, get better sleep, We're all struggling with that right now. And there's a big new movement towards self-care. We also have quarantine fatigue right now, and with the cooler weather approaching, consumers are seeking comfort foods. They want to feel better with what they eat in a kind of almost a warm hug and those fall flavors that warm the soul. Consumers also want to help with social issues if they can. As Dr. Jarima said, local is on the table. More consumers are looking to source locally as well as support their community businesses. This is definitely an opportunity to talk about how amazing US seafood is. We are embracing these opportunities to help the seafood industry and help more Americans eat delicious, healthy seafood. So as we head into the fall, back to school, and October National Seafood Month, we have continued to shift the messaging a little more. Families are stressed out now, and we don't really know what that new normal looks like, but with back to school, everyone is overwhelmed at having to cook 3 meals a day, and not to mention all the dishes. So we have partnered with FMI and their Family Meals Movement Initiative to emphasize the importance of staying strong with family meals. And to do this, we also need to emphasize that seafood is simple. I think a lot of people really overcomplicate it and get very nervous about cooking at home. With new consumers trying seafood at home, it's important to support them with new recipes and tips to make sure that those continued purchases result in delicious meals. How can we help make meal prep and cooking easier? Here are some topics that we're highlighting on our channels, and we would love for you to share those as well. Just simple techniques for cooking seafood. Salt, pepper, lemon, that's it. Open a can, it's really easy. Short 1 to 3 minute cooking videos, 3 to 5 ingredient recipes. There's a great initiative on cook from frozen, foil packets and one pan dishes. That's what we do most nights at our house. There's plenty of retail options that are either pre-seasoned or even cooked and tinned and smoked products. And what we've been talking about all day today, live healthier with seafood. Seafood can lift you up during these trying times. Here, like I mentioned before, some of the health issues and themes that we're seeing people really talking about a lot during COVID. It's that immune health. There's amazing information from Dr. Calder earlier today that we are going to synthesize and put into talking points and shareable bits for social media, and we'd love for you guys to share that as well. The stress and anxiety that everyone has right now, there's amazing science that shows seafood and omega-3s can help reduce that stress and anxiety. It can help fight depression, and as we come into the winter, that seasonal depression as well. Overall, just wellness and self-care. Think of seafood as self-care and doing good for yourself. And of course, sleep, which is my topic of interest because I'm always fighting it with 2 little kids at home. Eating fish can help improve sleep, and there's really strong science to back that up as well. Not to mention, the main topic of several speeches today is going back to the source. We really need to highlight the amazing work that our fishermen, our seafood farmers, and the NGO communities, the government with NOAA, have been doing to really ensure that we have wonderful, sustainable seafood available. We need to highlight the working waterfront communities and support them through these unprecedented times. So purchase seafood online from your retailer to cook at home, or from online to cook at home. Order from your favorite restaurants for delivery or pickup. Our fishing communities are working hard to manage our fisheries with sustainable practices. So let's show our support and eat seafood, America. So with all of these shifting messages and strategies, and really trying to change to what the consumer kind of has been going through and relate to it, we, on our social channels and in community outreach, along with some paid media and some news media that we received, from April 6th to July 26th, which was a 12-week period of our rapid response campaign, we received about 300 million impressions. You can kind of see, yeah. You can see here where some of those feeds came from, and ask me in the networking group if you have more questions. And it seems to be working. All of those impressions seem to really have resulted in change. So we did two consumer surveys, one in June mid-campaign and one July post-campaign, with over 1,000 consumers. And 14% of respondents said that they saw the messaging. Of those who remembered seeing the messaging, they were 3 times more likely to have increased their seafood consumption in the last 2 months as compared to those who didn't see messaging. 3 times more likely to eat more seafood once they saw how they could support their own health, how they could support the fishing communities, how they could support local businesses. They were also 3 times more likely to say that they ate seafood more than 2 times a week, and they were 2 times more likely to add seafood to their meals soon. It's really great. Yeah. And so I'm not going to go through every single one of these bullet points, which you can read on your own, and we'll share the data. But in overall, all the consumers we surveyed, approximately 12% were planning to add more seafood to their meals soon. 22% were learning to cook seafood at home more, and 23% had eaten more seafood in the last 2 months. So really, we're seeing more Americans trying new things and trying seafood in that. And that is showing up in sales numbers as well. This is IRI, which does seafood sales at retail. And if you look at that bottom line for seafood, it's all green. We're the only category that is all green throughout. This goes through early July, but it's true to this day. Seafood sales have done very, very well, up 150% in some cases, year over year. So what does that mean? It means we're really going to keep on with what we're doing. We see that it's working and we're excited about it. We are currently in that fall activation going into National Seafood Month in October, really emphasizing that seafood is simple, and we want you to all join in with us. As you can see in 2021, we have activation periods that we want to engage everyone in, and our retail partners have committed to also sharing our messaging during these times. So come January and February, a lot of our retailers will start showcasing a lot more seafood in their New Year health and wellness initiatives. So here's our campaign call to action. Here's how you can help. It's simple. Eat seafood and buy seafood. It's really as simple as that. Buy it online or order it from pickup, restaurants, mail order, grocery stores. Then post a photo of your meal and tag it with Eat Seafood America. Be part of that conversation. If people see it and get excited, look at that delicious meal, like that. Those salmon skewers from Michael Ann look amazing and delicious, and I'd love to try it at home. So, and then repeat. Keep on supporting our nation's seafood community by eating seafood and buying seafood as often as you can. We do have a toolkit available at the eatseafoodamerica.com site. If you want to have any of the recipes I featured, any of the photos, the graphics, we have sample blog posts you can share, sample social media to make it easy for you. With this overarching message, Eat Seafood America, to make your life healthier, to make meals simpler, and to support working waterfront communities. None of this could be done without our supporting funders. Thank you so much to Walton Family Foundation, National Marine Sanctuary Foundation, and NOAA Fisheries, and Blue House Salmon and Salmon de Chile. Thank you so much.